132. The course is OLT 132, African Literature. Module 2 consists of 4 lectures, whereby lecture 1 is all about reading of the Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Lecture 2, analyzing Things Fall Apart and post-discussion. Lecture 3, reading The Joy of Motherhood, which Emecheta. Lecture 4, analyzing The Joy of Motherhood, written by Butch Emecheta. Therefore, we can go to directly to the story The Joy of Motherhood by Butch Emecheta, which was first published in 1979. The novel focuses on how women have necessity to be fertile and to give birth to the baby boys. In this story, or in the story, it's seen the main character, Newego, and battles with accepting the new culture in Lagos without abandoning her native culture. The story, as I have said, The Joy of Motherhood, is the kind of story which tries to show the fight in which women are in. And good example here is Newego. Newego, as you can see, the story is centered on the main character, that is Newego, who tries to battle with accepting the new cultures in Lagos without abandoning native culture. That her Igbo background is patriarchal, one in which marriage and having children are the most important goal for a woman. A sense of community is highly valued, and people are seen for what they can add to their compound. On the other hand, the culture of Lagos stresses money and individual success. That the story tells us about the main character, that is Newego. Newego is our main character, and you can see how she fights against the problems which are facing women in her society. She is the daughter of Nokocha and Badi, and the owner who had a bad effect with childbearing. We are going to see how owner is facing such a challenge in her society. That in a plot view or plot introduction, the story tries to portray the lives of Nigerian women. Through Newego, the main character of our story, whose life centers on her 4 children. Through them, she is shown gains much respect in her community because of them. Newego being born of an Igbo chief at birth, and his mistress Honor. Newego has unusual childhood. If you try to go through that particular story, you will see how her life was unusual. She is never forced or pressured into marriage like other girls in the village. Nonetheless, wanting desperately to be a mother, Newego fails at her first marriage with Amatopo. In the story, we see Newego get married to Amatopo, but their marriage does not bear fruits. And in introduction, that we are told that after not becoming pregnant right away, Newego, she makes an unwise decision to breastfeed and to contemplate stealing his second wife's baby. She is thus returned to Albadi, who then returned the bloody prize to Amatoki. Through this story, it's seen how traditional tribals value and the customs begin to shift with increasing of colonial presentation and influence, pushing Newego to the challenges. A thing pushes her to accept the notion of womanhood, wifehood, and motherhood. And the character Honor, it's seen how women are treated in their society. Their honor act as a representative of women. And she is being portrayed lefty by Agbadi. That it's a symbol. It's a symbol which tries to symbolize weak creatures. That women are weak. They can be raped and they can be raped. Also, through Nwego's journey, the writer Emecheta tries to incorporate us in the dilemmas associated with adopting new ideas and practices against the inclination to cleave the tradition. In her story, the writer Emecheta reveals and celebrates the pressure delivered from fulfilling responsibilities related to the family matters in childbearing, mothering, and nurturing activities among women. In normal life, there is nothing mother enjoys the most more than being a mother, fulfilling responsibilities related to the family matters and childbearing, mothering, and nurturing their babies. However, the author additionally highlights how the joy of motherhood also includes anxiety, obligations, and pain. Also, Emecheta tries to show a sense of community, how highly valued and how people are seen for what they can add to their compound. On the other hand, Emecheta portrays the culture of Lagos on how money is stressed and individual success, how money is stressed and an individual success. According to her, having many children in Lagos is not valued as it can cause financial burden. This is the lesson Newego learns in life. Newego thus become trapped between two separate belief systems. Throughout her journey within this culture, she ultimately failed to cope with the changing environment. Due to her upbringing and operating forces in Lagos, she proved to be limited character, lacking tools needed to thrive. As the story opens, we are introduced to a wealthier local chief, that is Nokacha Agbadi. In the story, the guy is portrayed very rich, proud, and handsome man, but he has several wives. There is polygamism. You can see the situation of having many wives. That is polygamism. Therefore, polygamism is portrayed through Nokacha. That he has several wives. He finds a woman named Ona more attractive and beautiful than his other wives. That is womanizer. Womanizer. That's the man. The man likes women the most. Ona nicknamed priceless jewel. Is the name priceless jewel is the name Nokocha given to her during their childhood. Ona is the daughter of the chief in the same village. Here are some questions we can ask about the story, about our characters which are found in our story, the joys of motherhood. That what kind of women does Nokocha Agibada prefer? Simply because we did see that Agibada Nokocha is a womanizer, is a polygamist, practice polygamism. What are Ona's attitude toward men? If you try to go through this particular story, you will see those attitude Ona has toward men. What attitude do Agbada shows toward her? That is Ona. And all these questions and the others are answered by the story after having gone through to the end. Then the author says, when Ona was young, her father took her everywhere he went, saying she was his honor. In bracket, that is symbolism. And Nokocha Agbada would say jokingly, why don't you wear her around your neck like an honor? Means ornament. There we discover that the word honor means ornament. A priceless jewel. it never occurred to him that he would be one of the men to ask her when she grew up. During one land season, Chief Agbada and his friend had gone on elephant hunting. Having come to near the heavy creatures, that is the tusk, he is thrown with a mighty tusk into a nearby sugarcane bush. Then he is seen pinned to the ground floor. In the story, Agbada is seen aiming his spear at the bear of the mighty animal, and the animal and aiming to kill it, but the animal do not die until he has wounded him badly. Then Agbada passes out. He seemed to fall. He seemed to fall. All fellow friends who went with him on hunting, he has died. Agbada passed out, and he seems to all fellow friends who went with him on hunting, he has died. And the author says that wakes up several days gone, and he finds Honor beside him. During this period, he rapes her, and after 18 days, he finds out that his eldest wife, Aguna, was very ill. And we are told that she died a few days later. And the villager thinks perhaps she became ill as a result of seeing her husband passed out. The author says that there was no reason to stop the funeral ceremony. Therefore, the funeral festivity continued through the day. That when it's time to put Agona in her grave, as usual, we are told that when it is time to put Agona in her grave, as usual, everything she will need in her afterlife, having been placed in her coffin, as their tradition orders, Aguna's personal slave is called. This is due to the fact that, according to custom, a good flesh and young slave is supposed to jump into the grave willingly to accompany her mistress or master. But this young and beautiful slave begs for her life, much to the annoyance of the men attending the burial ceremony. Here, there is a question we can ask ourselves. The question to ask here is, if it was the culture, why this young lady begs for her life? It is a question which we can ask. That we are told that, according to the story, that it was their tradition, it was their culture, it was their culture that once a master or mistress is dead, someone from the slave or his or her slaves are supposed to jump into the grave willingly to accompany that particular mistress or master. Then why this young girl denying to jump in the grave willingly? That means death is not a good thing. Then historically, this kind of culture practiced by many societies in Africa. Good example is the Egyptian gods played a role in guiding the soul of the dead through the afterlife. That we are told that Egyptian religious doctrine included three afterlife ideologies: beliefs in an underworldly eternal life and rebirth of the soul. In Egypt, the underworld, also known as the Jute, which had only one entrance that could be reached by traveling through the tomb of the deceased. That the same belief is shown by a machete through this helpless young slave who is seen pushed into the shallow grave and unwillingly still struggles out, appealing to her owner Agbad, whose eldest son lies angrily as he says, "So my mother does not deserve a decent burial?" And that is the question asked by the eldest son of Agbadi. So, yeah, So saying, he gives the slaves a sharp blow with the head of the cutlass. Thereafter, the eldest son, another relative comes and gives her a final blow to the head. She falls into her boss's grave and is silenced forever. The burial is completed. There is a very crucial question we should ask ourselves here. That why the author raises some of the negativity or negative aspect of traditional ways of Igbo society early in this story. The answer is very simple. You just say that it is because the sacrifice of slaves to accompany dead readers historically has been practiced in many cultures, most famous in ancient Egypt, as we saw short while ago in Egyptian religion. That here are other guiding questions which may help you to understand the story to the end. Why does Ona refuse to marry Agbadi? That is the question. Then, what is the meaning of Newego's name? That means Newego is a name which symbolizes something in that particular story. And another question is, what significances does it have in their society? What is Ona's last wish for her daughter? In the story, Ona becomes pregnant. Here we're going back to the story that Ona becomes pregnant from Agbadi's rape. And we did see that after Agbadi passed away, passed out by the throw from that mighty elephant. There we Agbada after waking up, he found that Ona beside him. Then he decided to rape her. There, after that rape, Ona became pregnant. And delivers a baby girl named Newego. Ona becomes pregnant from Agbadi's rape, and delivers a baby girl named Newego, which means 20 bags of cowries. The baby is born with a mark on her head, resembling the made by the cutlass used on the head of the slave woman. We remember that woman who forced to jump in the grave. That's the symbol which the baby was born with. Then Ona gives birth to another son that dies premature. The son dies a week after. Newego becomes a woman, but is barren. Then, after several months, with no sign of fruitfulness, she consults several herbalists, and she is told that the slave woman, who is her chi, and in bracket goddess, will not give her a child. Remember that a woman slave who forced to enter the grave is the chi of. According to the story, is the chi of Newego. That her husband, Amatoki, takes another wife who before long conceives, that women become pregnant. That why can't Newego stays in Ibuza? Those are another questions we can ask in understanding this question. That what argument does Newego try to use to convince Adaku not to become a prostitute? And here we're trying to, the story introduces to us a theme of prostitution, that there are some sort of prostitution in this particular story, or in this story we are dealing with. How is it typical of her, that is Newego? And the answer of those can be found in chapter 14 of the story. Newego returns to her father's house. She is married to a new husband, whom she does not like, but plays that if she can have a child with him, she will love him. She does not. She does give birth to a baby boy, whom she later finds dead. That why is it said that Ibuza men are gloried in the unfaithful of women? That's another question. Why Newego is preparing her daughter to follow in her footsteps by giving them an inferior education and training them in housework? It's also another question you can ask about the story. What other actions and speeches of her in this chapter show how she discriminates between girls and boys? Why does Oshia prefer his father to his mother? These are some of the questions put into under consideration when reading this particular novel. That coming back to the story, we see Newego very shortly. She is seen on the verge of jumping into the river when one villager draws her back and comforts her. And she subsequently gives birth to 4 children. Her husband, a lonely man for a white man, is drafted into the army during wartime. That is World War II. On her own, Newego ensure all her children have good life by sending 2 of them abroad to study. That what effect does the outbreak of World War II have on the residents of Lagos, that is Nigeria? That what is Naife's reaction to being supported by Newego? Who is Naifa? Who is Naife? That's another question. A second husband who lived in the but that after Newego faced those challenges in the village, she decided to shift to the town. There is where she found the new husband, and that is Naife. Then why does she object to soldiers? Why is Naife's treat to all police treaty? Why is Naife's treat to all the police laughed at? In the story, we are also informed about Fernando Po, that it is the old name of an island of the coast of Equatorial Guinea, now named Bioko, where the capital is located. This is some sort of historical information which Emecheta tries to share with us about that town named, or that island named Equatorial Guinea. It got the name of Fernando Po while under the control of Spanish. That not that Nigeria is very vague concept to Newego. She is uncertain whether the British own her hometown. Then, after Newego's dies lonely death, her children all come home and are seen very sorry. The author says that they were in position to give her a better life, but they did not. The question here is why they did fail to do so, while they were in position to do so. She is given a greater burial in the town. That's what you can regard as betrayal. Where we are there while their mother was suffering. That is another question you can ask. What for? And that greater burial. What for? Then in the story, it is saying the so-called Igbo separatism. Igbo separatism, which was to reach head in the late 60s in attempting to sedice from Nigeria and form a national called Biafra. This attempt led to a catastrophic civil war and the permanently strained relation between Igbo and other tribes, so-called tribalism. In Nigeria is the natural result of the different people being forced together during the colonial period into artificially created nations. How does it actually toward the marriage reflected the spirit between the generation. Why her attitude are not entirely dissimilar from those of her grandmother. Why does Naife's curse Newego? That coming to the story, when all Ona's children are unable to have offspring of the oracle, reveals that it is because Newego is angry with them. In the village, the stories says that she is wicked woman, even in death. They agree that she has everything to her children. She has given everything to her children, but why she's still angry with them? That is the joy of being a mother. And here is where the name of this story is drawn. That at the end of this story, the author says to be canonized is to be formally declared as a saint. The question is the title of this novel Ionic? If it is Ionic, why? What do you think the main message of this novel is? Then this question can be drawn from chapter 18 and the last chapter of the story, which is the last chapter of the story. Then thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the picture. Thank you.